This is a demonstration for how to create an Inspicio question and answer video clip, which represents, say, 95% or more of all the video clips we create for Inspicio. Here's the way we do it. So first of all, you have to find the elements that you're going to need to create a video clip. One element, which is in your student resource materials folder, which you've been given access to, is the Inspicio logo font. So you're going to have to install this on your computer. The logo font for Inspicio is called Chunk 5. And you can find it on the Inspicio OneDrive account, which you've been given access to. And you have to install this font. So that's number one, because we have a Inspicio logo watermark on every video screen. And I'm going to show you how to create the watermark a little bit later. The other thing you're going to need is your video log for the interview that you're editing. And so in this case, we're editing the video interview with film producer Carla Berkowitz, and this is the video log. So once you have those two elements, open up your Adobe Premiere account. I just clicked on the icon on my desktop or in my taskbar. And this is showing past Premiere project files. I don't want to open those. I want to start a new project. So start a new project, and you have to pick a place where the project file is going to be, where the Premiere project files are going to be saved and where the video clips are going to be saved. So first of all, you give it a name, and I'm going to call this, I'm just going to make it in all caps, Carla Berkowitz. And then I got to pick a place, browse for a place where it's going to be, where all the files are going to be stored or saved. And in the case of a PC, I'm working on a PC, you go to Documents, the Adobe subfolder, Premiere Pro subfolder, and in my case, there's a folder called 14.0. And when I click on that, you'll see folders I've created for various interview video files that I've edited. So I'm going to create a new one here for Carla Berkowitz. And if you're using a Mac, it may be a different process for doing this, but you're going to have to go in and create a folder. So I just clicked on new folder, and I'm putting in Carla Berkowitz. Selecting that folder. So now this URL here, the location where it's going to save everything is in the Carla Berkowitz subfolder. Just click OK. And now I'm going to get my normal Adobe Premiere desktop. So the first thing I have to do is find the video files that I'm going to be working on. And I always download my video files to a external hard drive, which I called Inspicio 5. So I'm going to click on that, but you're going to have to find file for yourself. And I know that on that hard drive, all my video files are in a folder called Video Interviews. So I got to open that folder. And then I'm going to find the Carla Berkowitz file. There it is. And I know that the movies are in this subfolder. If I go to the video log, the first video file that I want to create is Carla Berkowitz 1, and it starts the in time of 2 minutes and 56 seconds. And I'm going to pull this to 2 minutes and 56 seconds. And when did you come to the United States? And what was your first awareness of art of any discipline?
So I was born.
Okay, I want to get her saying, not so I was born, but I was born. So you use these little arrows here on either side of the main play button to go forward and backward. I always watch the person's mouth and try and hear the slowed up words. I'm going to mark it in with this tool.
So I was born in Caracas.
That's not what I wanted. So I'm going to have to catch this right after she says so. And when did you come to the United States? And what was your first awareness of art of any discipline? Marking it in.
I was born in Caracas, Venezuela, and I lived there.
Okay. And now if I go back to the video log, the timeout, dialogue out is at 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And the lives of 6 people forever is the dialogue out. So I'm going to pull this over to 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
I was lucky enough to have changed the lives of 6 people forever.
Okay, I just stopped it. Now I click on this little squiggly line over here, which is marking the clip out. And now I've captured this little clip. And I'm going to take the left mouse button, hold it down, and drag this over to the timeline and release. So now I've dragged the, that's the video right there. And normally when you're playing video by, when you're capturing video using a camera, the sound is very loud, but for some reason with Zoom, they've already modified the sound. So when I play this, you're going to see that the sound level over here does not exceed 12.
It's 9. Then we came to the United States and I didn't speak English and it took a while, but now I do, obviously.
So that means I don't have to adjust the sound. If I did have to adjust the sound, I would right click on this video timeline. I get a pop-up menu. The 2 things I use most in the pop-up menu is audio gain, and that's where you can adjust the sound level. And the other one is set to frame size. If for some reason the video is not fitting properly on the screen, you can click set to frame size, and it'll change that and make, especially if the video is small, it'll make it expand and fill the screen size. You can see that this video is filling the screen size. So that's not an issue either. The other thing we do is we use transitions on every video clip of fading from black into the video and fading at the end of the video to black. So if you look at this the way it is right now, you'll see that just the video just comes up.
I was born in Caracas, Venezuela, and I lived.
And you'll see that it just kind of comes out when you reach the end.
Of 6 people forever.
And just ends abruptly. What we do is we put a fade on from black in the front and to black at the end. And the easiest way to do that is to highlight the video, and on a PC, you click on Control D. On a Mac, it's Command D. And you can see that it's added these little brown boxes at either end. That's the transition. You can actually expand those if you wanted the fade to start in the middle someplace. But for the most part, to be consistent with what we're doing everywhere else, just hit Command D or Control D and use those, the fades that it puts on there, because then it'll be consistent from one interview to the next. The next important thing is to put the text in for the question. So to do that, you have to go into graphics. So I just clicked on graphics. And you click on this text tool, the T for text tool. Now, when I click on here in the middle of this black space, it's going to bring up this set of tools to work with. And you can see that the default font was Tahoma regular, set at 100 point size. You've got to do some experimenting to see what the right point size is. The first thing is that we don't want to use Tahoma. If you're on a PC, we use Arial. If you're on a Mac, we use Helvetica. So I'm on a PC, and I'm going to just, when I clicked on this little arrow here, I'm just going to type AR and Arial will pop up, and I'm going to use Arial regular. You can use Helvetica regular if you're on a Mac. And I already know in advance that the point size that seems to work well is 30. So I'm going to type 30 here. And you can see it diminished this little red box. And now I'm going to the video log, and I'm going to copy the text in this video log. So up here, the text will appear up here in the in this space. So I'm just going to highlight it, hit Control C on a PC or Command C on a Mac. Go back to Premiere and hit Control V or Command V to paste it in. All right, now that looks really small to me. This looks completely different from the way it looked when I was working on that earlier today. So I don't know why it varies, but it seems to from one moment to the next when I'm using Premiere and I'm starting a new project. So you may have to experiment and see which typeface looks correct. So I'm actually going to, on a PC, I can cancel that pace by just hitting Control Z or Command Z on a Mac. And I'm going to switch this back to 80 point size. And now I'm going to hit Control V or Command V again. That looks a little big to me. So I'm going to try one more time. I'm going to make it 60. That looks about right to me. So you're going to have to do some experimenting. So now you got to make this fit on the page. And what you're going to do is take the text tool and try to make this block of text as rectangular as possible. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm clicking between what's and your, I'm hitting the backspace so that when I hit enter, it's going to line up the Y and the W. And over here in the alignment, you can see that this first indicator is highlighted. So this is what they call aligned left or left aligned text. If I changed it to left to center aligned, it would it would make it centered. And if I clicked on align right, it's going to make it what I would call, I used to call flush right or flush left. So I'm going to change it back to, we always make it aligned left. Now I'm just dragging this around by clicking on the pointer tool and dragging the text around. So I'm trying to also make it more or less aligned on the right side, but it's always going to be somewhat ragged. The only aligning is on the left side. On the right side, it's always going to be ragged. So I'm putting the, clicking on the text tool, clicking here to put the cursor in there, hitting the backspace. And now I've got something that's reasonably straight on both sides. Now clicking on the pointer tool, and these two icons over here allow you to center the text from top to bottom and from left to right. So I'm going to click on one, see it moved a little bit, click on the other, moved a little bit. So I was almost centered to begin with. So down here, it's created a text box. And now I'm going to get out of graphics for the time being and go back to editing. And I'm in editing. If I look at this text box, I want to have these same transitions from black to black on the text box. So whenever it's white, it's being highlighted. I'm hitting Control D on a PC or Command D on a Mac, and it just put the transition at the beginning and end of this text block. I want to look at this a little closer. By the way, I don't bring these two together until I figured out the timing for how long the text needs to be on the screen. Down here, you can control how close you are and the size of that this appears on the timeline. If you drag it to the left, now you can see the transition blocks here and there. If you drag it to the right, it fits it all on the screen. So what I want to do here is play this and see if the timing of how long this text is going to be on the screen will be correct. And to do that, what I do, I want to make sure that everybody who looks at this video has enough time to read the text. So I read it out loud, And then at the end, I say 1, 2 to give them some extra time. So I'm going to click on play. Where did you grow up and what's your earliest memory of art of any discipline? 1, 2. So you can see I didn't allow enough time for somebody to read that. So I'm going to highlight this and then drag it out to meet where the blue bar stopped when I stopped the video playing. So you can see when I put my cursor over the end of this block of text, this little red arrow popped up, and I can now drag the text block out. So now when I read it and I play it, where did you grow up and what's your earliest memory of art of any discipline? 1, 2. Great. So you want this to be exactly right. If the text is on the screen too long, people get bored. If it's too quick, they don't have time to read the text. So that's the text block. I'm going to butt the video up against the text block. Now when I play it.
I was born in Caracas, Venezuela, and I lived there till I was.
Okay, so we know that's working. The only other thing you got to add is the Inspicio logo watermark. To do that, pull this blue bar to a blank space. We're going to go back into graphics. And we're going to type the word Inspicio. I-N-S-P-I-C-I-O. Generally speaking, the word Inspicio should be the same size as the text for the question screen. So I'm going to highlight this. And now I'm going to change the font to our logo font. So I'm clicking on this little down arrow and I'm typing in chunk 5. You have to have installed chunk 5 on your computer. And now chunk 5 appears right here. I click on it and that's our logo font. So I don't know exactly where it should appear. It's going to appear on the video. And I don't know what the transparency should be. Right now, the transparency, which is this little checkerboard over here, is 100%, which means that there's no transparency. It's just going to appear bright like that. We want to make the low watermark be visible, but not so bright and so dominant that that's the only thing you see. So going back, I'm going to take this, click on this this white text block we made, which is the logo, and I'm going to pull it up over the top of the video. And you know you're in the right place. You see those little arrows, those little triangles down below the text block? They tell you that you're aligned. And now I'm going to do the same thing I talked about before. I'm going to drag it. You see those little arrows or triangles below the logo watermark? That indicates that you're aligned on the left side of the video. Now, when I pull the blue bar over this, you can see that the logo is right in the middle of the screen. So we want to put it someplace where it looks, we certainly don't want it in our face. So I'm clicking on this arrow key, and now I'm going to drag it over her shoes. Oops. There we go. See how it looks over there. I think it looks okay over here. I mean, you can either put it in the upper right-hand corner, the lower right-hand corner, the lower left-hand corner, upper right corner. Decide where it looks best. The best place for it is the lower right-hand corner, and you want to leave room between the logo watermark and the bottom of the page and the side of the page. So you can see I've left about 1/4 of an inch on both sides. So I think this is both visible. I mean, I could move it up here. That might be a little better, less of a busy background. But I think most people are used to seeing it down here. So that's where I'm going to leave it. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to editing. And I'm going to save this. What I'm saving when I save it is just the project file. Actually, I'm going to do a save as, so I put a number on this. Save as, right now it just says Carla Berkowitz. I'm going to make it Carla Berkowitz 1. Okay. So, this is the video file, and you're going to repeat this. You just keep this template going. Basically, when you go to do Carla Berkowitz 2, all you have to do is delete this video, pull in the next video clip into here, and edit this text with the next question that you copy and paste from the video log. Can't emphasize how important it is to copy and paste the questions from the video log, because otherwise you're going to make mistakes. Never type them. You're going to bring in typos. You're going to have spelling errors. And then when we get into the video, you can see where the logo watermark is. So we're ready to go. I'm going to export this. To export a video file and create an MP4 file, you have to be in the video editing mode right here. And you want to have your cursor clicked on this space in the lower right-hand quadrant with a blue highlight around it, the blue line highlighting it. Now you go to File, go down to Export, go down to Media. You're going to get this dialog box. It's going to ask you the output name. So you click on this, and you can see this is going to export it to a different folder, the Candace Taylor folder. So you got to make sure you're exporting to the correct folder. So I'm going back to this 14.0 folder, and then I see Carla Berkowitz here. So I'm going to double click on Carla, and you want to save this with the text being uppercase, lowercase. So this is going to be the file name of the file you create. So Carla Berkowitz 1. Okay, so I got that saved. You can see it's up here. Now I'm going to export. Click on Export. It's going to take a few minutes. Okay, it's telling me that the video was exported successfully. I'm going to go look. I always look at the videos that I export to make sure that they're correct. So I'm going, in this case, on my computer, to Documents, Adobe, Premiere Pro, 14.0, Carla Berkowitz. And there is Carla Berkowitz 1. So if I double click on this, where did you grow up and what's your earliest memory of art of any discipline?
I was born in Caracas, Venezuela, and I lived there till I was 9.
So everything looks a little big here, but keep in mind that when we post it on our website or in our e-magazines, the actual video is smaller. So I'm going to open this a different way. I just right-clicked on it and I'm opening it with Windows Media Player. It'll be a little smaller. That's about the size it's going to appear in our website.
I was born in Caracas, Venezuela, and I lived there till I was 9. Then we came to.
So that looks like it'll pass for me, but I can't emphasize it's a trial and error process. So you have to get something that you think is right and then upload it to YouTube, and I'll take a look at it and see what I think. So just to give you examples, this is on our website, and this is the first in the slider. This is the first interview in the slider with Amy Page Condon. So click on read and look at her video, and this looks correct to me. So the text is a good size, lots of space to the margins.
I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, and I had
my
mother was incredibly creative.
Maybe a little small.
Her.
So that's it. To show you, I might as well show you how to upload to our YouTube channel. Once you're in our YouTube channel, and I sent you a link and made you a manager in the YouTube channel, you click on create, upload videos, select a file. I'm going to get this Carla Berkowitz 1. And this will take, down here you can see how long it's going to take. So it's telling me there's 3 minutes left. In this space here where it says thumbnail, it's going to give you 3 images that it pulls out of the video, and that YouTube pulls out of the video. And when you see those, if they're all goofy looking, like she's got her tongue out or something, you can replace them with a custom thumbnail. That is a video, is an image that you can do some screenshots from the raw video and pick images that really look good. The other thing is you have to, I want you to pick a playlist. I'm going to make a playlist for you. So you can reuse this one. It's going to be, I'm clicking on new playlist. And it's going to be Carla Berkowitz. Just click on create. It's going to be public. I'm going to click on that. And then these days you have to say that this isn't for kids. So click on that. And down here it says it checked our video to make sure there's no copyright issues. So there's no issues found. So you just click next. Click next again. Next again. And now we're going to publish that video. And I'm going to click on this copy, the URL. Usually you see an image up here, so I'm not quite sure what that's about, but it didn't put the image in. I'm going to click on edit this. Okay, here's an image. I'm going to change it and save that image. And I'm going to copy this again. And now, just to see how this looks, if we put it into a our WordPress format. This is just a blank that I'm not using. One of the things you'll do when you're working on WordPress, you go to this video player, you click on it, pencil, click on the pencil. I'm now going to paste the URL that I just copied from YouTube. Here's my video. Now I click insert. So there's the video. And now I'm just going to click on preview. And we'll see what this is going to look like on our web page.
I was born in Caracas, Venezuela, and I lived there till I was 9.
So I think that looks good. So I think the numbers we picked for the font sizes for both the Chunk 5 and for Helvetica or Arial for the text for the title screen, I think that all works. So that's the story, and contact me if you have questions.